I look at it, the awareness is virtually there.
Okay.
It's only that the implementation of the Midwives Service Scheme that is the challenge.
Okay, we have a caller. Hello, good evening. Hello, can you hear us in the studio? Good evening. Please, what's your name and where are you calling us from? Thank you, Anita. What's your question? Oh, thank you so much. What role does the government and development partners play in strengthening MSS? Did you get that question?
Yes.
You want to take it?
Yes. If you talk of the role of the government in strengthening the MSS,
Okay.
government is, they are the ones that are sponsoring this program.
Okay.
Most of them they sponsor, and we look at it that even the training institution, they are being owned by government. Government owns those institutions and they train the midwives. And the issue of the MSS at that point in time was even initiated by the government.
True.
Which means the government itself have the interest of the people at heart.
At hand, yes.
So that they were able to brought up that issue at that point in time for it to be implemented. And with it again, you can look at it that even after the federal government could not sustain that program, there are some states that are still working on this MSS. I use FCT here as a point of contact. The minister is well informed with this program. And the students that we train in most cases, they are also part of this. After their graduation, they register, they still send them to the community to serve. So that's the contribution that I say government is really. And government again can even connect the people or the people concerned with other NGOs.
That's what we have another caller.
It's okay.
Hello, good evening. Please, what's your name and where are you calling us from? Okay, what's your question, please? Okay, thank you so much.
That if there are
community awareness, like what you were just talking about now.
actually, just as I've said, I say if it is you are talking of awareness, there is good awareness.
But the problem is the
But the
implementation
implementation
Okay.
and sustainability. That's just the way I look at it. But if it's awareness, the community are aware. There are trained personnel that need to be in the community. And the midwives are the right source of people that you can know that will be able to take care of these mothers and their babies.
Okay.
If we really want to reduce the maternal mortality rate in this country.
Okay. Earlier, Oluwemi, you talked about some challenges affecting MSS, and you talked about language barrier, education. So how can we address that particular challenge, especially when it comes to language?
Okay, thank you very much. So again, it also boiled down to government commitments and investments. Individual commitment as well, because if I'm posted to Sokoto, for instance, and I know I don't understand Hausa, so government can say, okay, let's get you a teacher. You have sections, where they can train you on Hausa. Let's get you material. Let's get you some software where you can have interpretation on your phone. Let's get you an interpreter. So government can do that. Individual can also do that. Community can say, oh, come on, because we are aware that our midwives are here and they are from Lagos State, for instance. Okay, every Saturday we come to your PHC and we take you section in Hausa. So that is community contribution, community ownership, because they want that program to succeed, they will also contribute to it. Now, that also takes us to servicing women with disability, the deaf women. So, again, that also means that the midwife need to be trained and their capacity to be built on sign languages.
True.
And giving them all the support they need, the software they need, and the training they need, the manual they need, the counseling card they need, to be able to address the need of every woman without leaving no one behind. That is very crucial. Talking about community ownership, when you are taking a program to any community or local government, there must be a dialogue. because we talk about community engagements, where the community interacts with whatever program we have. So with community engagement, the leadership, the gatekeepers, interacts with the midwife and the leadership of the program in order to understand the reason why. Because when people know why you are there, it's easier for them to support you. You know, in times of crisis, they will be the first one to say, come on, there's going to be something like this, be careful on this, don't go out. They will tell you the norms, they will tell you the culture, they will tell you everything you need to know to make your existence or your stay there, yes, be conducive and be effective.
Okay.
Again, the midwife also do community outreach.
Okay.
So they know them and thereby they interact with the community.
Okay, Grace, looking ahead, what policies or initiatives would you recommend to ensure that primary health care centers have enough staff, especially with skilled midwives, as we round up?
Actually, if you talk of policy,
Okay.
thank you for that question. Policy that need to be in ground to make sure that it is sustained.
Okay.
I look at it that if there is going to be a way whereby the ownership of the community, that if they can take ownership of this program, just as I've given you the example, when they say bring people for training, send your people from your community so that they will come, train, and come back to you.
Okay.
It will be better and you will be able to sustain such program. Do you get it? And then another thing again for the sustainability, just as we normally do, they train midwives in the school. They always graduate them yearly.
True.
And after every year graduation, they put them to the community. So the sustainability in FCT, I look at it, it is on ground. The only thing that is the challenge there now is being able to make sure that these midwives are comfortable wherever they are posted to, their security is taken care of, and they are given comfortable accommodation.
Okay.
With this, they'll be able to sustain this program.
Thank you for that. Lastly, Olubemi, how do we improve retention? How do we retain these midwives? Especially most of them are thinking of going out of the country, like the Japa syndrome. Yeah, so how do we retain these midwives?
Okay.
As a round off.
Thank you very much. Retention is really key, and one of the way to have retention
Yes.
is one, acknowledgement.
Okay.
Acknowledge what these people do. In most of the reports and articles, you barely read what significant role the midwife play. So acknowledge them, build their capacity, let that be career pathway. Let that be, now we have a master's and PhD in midwifery, so let that be clear career pathway. That will really be. Then conducive environment. Nobody want to work in hostile environment. Nobody want to work with their bare hand. So equipment, infrastructure, remuneration, these are very good. And of course, you know the reason why we are there, because of the patient. We are not there for ourselves. So the policy that speaks to 24-hour service is very important.
Okay.
And again, security. It's only when I'm alive that I can save life, isn't it?
True.
And thank you.
Thank you. That's all we have for today's discussion. The Midwives Service Scheme remains a crucial part of our health system, but it needs our collective effort to be fully effective. Let's keep the conversation going in our communities because everyone deserves quality health care no matter where they live. Thank you, Grace and Olubemi, for your insights.
Thank you.
Many thanks to
Thank
the
you for
studio
having us.
manager, Gweze Afone, the producer, Vivian Onoweware, the engineer, Oyebuchi Wange, ICT, Jonathan Aino, and the ICR social media team led today by Sinafi Omanga, Abdulaziz Gobri, and Olayinka Sanusi. I am Blessing Otoyimi. Do join us next week, Wednesday, by 5 p.m. in the afternoon for another edition of Spark. Stay tuned for the next program, Midweek Sports. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The time is so small.
Yes, 30 minutes.
I beg, I won't sleep for you.